Okay, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gents, got a couple of things that I'm going to talk about today because I feel like talking about them. First, just finished a meeting with SATCOM that we recorded because we record all of our meetings. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, look at that. When they kill the Passover. This video is not going to talk about the Passover that happens officially this particular weekend on the 31st, or the death of the individual who was the final Passover, but it's going to talk about something similar. I figured I would tell you all why everything is happening the way it is happening, because everybody thinks they know. What we're going to discuss right now is what nobody discusses, because everybody's afraid. Everybody's scared. They don't want to talk about it. It's too devastating. So we're going to talk about it. Okay? We're going to talk about a war that was unheard. Now, look, hold on. Got more things to talk about, but I'm only going to talk about this briefly. Not going to talk about it all. This is not going to be the whole conversation. But it says, and there was a war in heaven. Look at that. They actually had a war in heaven. Why? But they walk on streets paved in gold. That's a piece of peace. That's where God lives. No, they had a war, people. Michael, the archangel, who is also known as Jesus, his earthly name was Jesus, his heavenly name was Michael. Okay? And his angels fought against the dragon. Who's the dragon? Does anybody know who the dragon is? Well, hold on. And the dragon the dragon fought with his angels, and they did not prevail. Neither was a place found in heaven for them anymore. Why wasn't there a place found for them no more? They were there the whole time. Why all of a sudden they ain't got no place no more? And the great dragon was cast out. Cast? Oh, you mean he played in Glee? Anyway, the old serpent. The old serpent. What old serpent? The one in the book of Genesis. See? The one in the book of Genesis. That serpent. The one where it says the serpent said to the woman. That serpent. That's why it's called the old serpent. Called devil and Satan. So the dragon is Satan. The dragon is not the beast. The beast and the dragon are not the same thing. You go to the 13th chapter, verse number 1. It proves it to you. I said verse number 1. I'm sorry. It's not verse number 1. It's verse number 2. It says the dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. So the beast receives its power from the dragon. Okay? So don't y'all do that no more. Don't y'all be confusing the two, because so many of y'all do. All right. We're not here. I didn't mean to go to 14. I was going to 12. Uh-oh, I see what happened. It said next chapter, next episode. I don't want to go to the next chapter. I want to go back. Uh-oh, went too far back. So we got to go here, and then we got to go back here so that I can show y'all why we're doing this, why I am doing this. It says he and his angels were cast out, and where were they cast out to? The earth. And his angels were cast out with him. Okay, hold on. Like, this is not a Bible conversation. It's not a religious conversation. It has nothing to do with religion. But we know for a fact that since this happened, this has been the case. Rejoice, you who are in the heavens, and those who dwell in them, but woe for the inhabitants of the earth and for the sea, for the devils come down on you having great wrath, because he knows it is a short period of time. We keep blaming the system and what's going on in the system on man. Man is responsible for some of it, but not all of it. Who do you think is motivating them? Come on, you guys have seen the stupid things that's been going on. You guys have seen it. I don't need to point it out to you. You see the stupid things that's been going on. Well, let me tell you something that I take pride in knowing. Because that's right, I take pride in knowing this. So y'all should take pride in knowing it too. 20th chapter. 20th chapter. It says, now Michael... That's who the angel who came down, having the key. That's Michael. That's that Jesus character that y'all all know about. Says he takes this big, huge chain, and he has this key to this pit, and he opens it up, and he hurls the dragon, the old serpent, the Satan and devil, and he bounds him for 1,000 years. That's right. He puts him in jail. If you guys only knew how terrified they are about being put in that particular prison. How they begged him when he was on earth not to send them off into that prison. Begged him for 1,000 years. Now, I'm mentioning that to you all because none of your churches talk about that. They all claim to read scripture. They all claim to know what the Bible says, but they don't talk about how this creature who's causing all of these problems on this planet is going to be placed in jail. They're going to be locked away. Look, they say it's a bottomless pit. It's actually called an abyss. But it's a bottomless pit, and he shut it up over him, and he sealed it on him that he should not deceive the nations anymore. See, he's the one deceiving the nations, leading them where they are. How do we know this? Well, it's simple. Ladies and gentlemen, you talk to any Jehovah's Witness, they'll tell you this stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, I said 14. Sorry, it's supposed to be 16. Sorry, got a lot on my mind right now, and so I just need to show that I had a couple of things go wrong today. But notice this. It says, for they are spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth to the kings of the earth and the whole world, and gather them to the battle of the great day, God the Almighty. It is these spirits of devils who are, see, come out of the mouth of the dragon. These are the ones who mislead mankind and direct the kings of the earth. Why do you think these idiots are doing so much wrong? Okay, look, now you know. What are you going to do with that information? Nothing. You're going to go live your lives the same way. But I already knew that. No, you didn't know it. Because if you knew it, you would be changing things, because you know that when he's locked up, that's after the so-called end of the so-called world. And in the Bible, when it talks about the end of the world, it's talking about wicked mankind, those who don't listen, those who do not obey. Don't have time to go. This is not that conversation. Don't have time to go into that with you all. But you are supposed to be doing something, showing that you recognize the time that you're in. But all of you guys are worried about self. All of you guys are only worried about you. I just got finished talking to some people before the SATCOM meeting about how I'm expending all of this energy trying to help everybody else. Not doing anything for self, helping others. I'm not trying to say I'm selfless. Please. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that I'm nobody's saint, because I am nobody's saint. But you know, and let me say it so that you guys can understand it, because for the most part, people don't get it. What I am saying in a nutshell is I'm tired, people. I'm not tired because of me. I'm tired because of all of you. Because you're so demanding. I was on a particular website today. I got this particular program, and so I signed up for this particular website, and an individual saw my name on the website. And so he says, "Oh my God, are you on this site? Man, that's amazing." And I told the person, I decided to respond back to the person. I knew it wasn't going to be a good thing. So I responded back to the person. And I told him, I'm just too busy. I do not have the time. You know what that person responded back to me and said? You always say you don't have time. You always say you don't have time. Ladies and gentlemen, my bad. I apologize. I apologize that you can't equate how valuable my time is. I apologize that you think that you have an idea of how valuable my time is. I apologize that you think you know better than I do how valuable my time is. I apologize. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I just apologize. I apologize that that's how you feel. What I can tell you for a certainty, I recognize where I am. And for those who have an understanding, I am making sure my receptacles have enough oil in them. I am not going to need to buy no oil from those who sell it. For those of you who understand. For those of you who don't understand, I apologize. I'm sorry. You see, we told you what they're getting ready to do. We told you that, well, before it even started, we told you that there were going to be a lot more shootings. There's been a lot more shootings. And what are they doing? They're making it seem like it's gun control that's the problem. Now, mind you, there are close to 380 million people in America. Yeah, I know, a number seems high, but it ain't that high. At least 380 million people in America. And I'm sorry that you have to understand this statistic. At that school, less than 15 people died. 380 Americans, 80 million Americans in this country, and when I say Americans, I mean everybody who's in the country is an American, whether they're undocumented or not. If you're in America, you're an American. It doesn't matter about you being born here or having some stupid paper saying that you're here. You're here. You're an American. Okay, that's my explanation to you. You don't think the United States is taking credit for all of those people? Why do you think they do the census? Okay, so needless to say, don't nobody debate with me on that. It doesn't matter if you have an opinion on that. It's okay. You can have your opinion. I'm not doing this to argue or to debate. And I'm so tired of everybody wanting to debate and argue about everything. You don't have to win every argument. Well, I'm smart too. That's what I'm used to. I actually had somebody tell me that. Well, I know things too. Had somebody tell me that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a competition. I'm not doing these videos so that I can tell you I know more, because I do. I know more than you. That's not what this is about. This is not about me trying to prove what I know. This is about me sharing with you what I know. Why? Do you want to know the truth? Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. Because I know what's getting ready to happen. And so I ask the God that I serve, first, to allow me to be the last one to receive his reward. That was the first thing I begged him for. Those of you who have an understanding, understand. Second, I said, before it happens, allow me to help them, to provide them some comfort, some hope. Have I not done that, people? Have I not brought hope to those of you who are without hope? I know that I have, because many of you have told me that I have. That's all I asked him for. I know that we're not going to be able to finally jab a hole through the system and everybody go through that door. But I promise you, there is one thing that we can do right now that I know will work. I told all of you we need to ask the federal questions. And they need to be simple, to the point. Why do we ask the federal questions? We need to box them into that corner. We already know their system is a sham. We've already proven that the law that they're operating off of is unconstitutional. But remember, before all of you were saying, well, I know it's unconstitutional, and this was unconstitutional, that was unconstitutional. Hold on. They suspended the Constitution with that law. So before you could claim it was unconstitutional, you have to challenge that particular act of March 9th, 1933. But you all weren't getting that. You see, until you challenge that act as unconstitutional, every act from that suspends the Constitution. So you have no constitutional rights. You bring up the Constitution again in my court and I'll have you arrested. Is why they get to say that. But I've been trying to tell you this. You must challenge that which came first, the foundation, as unconstitutional, saying that they didn't have the constitutional authority to suspend the Constitution, not based on what they claimed they were basing it on. And what did they claim they were basing it on? Congress taking and delegating its authority to enact laws. Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, y'all. We got to open this up. I should have had it open, but I restarted the computer. So we're going to show y'all this. I'm not going to go past 20 minutes because there's no reason to go past 20 minutes in this video. But this is necessary for you all to understand this. Because if you don't get this, all is lost. because you're going to just be stuck in that same routine, going through the same motions, trying to get rid of the same junk, and never going to be satisfied, never going to get rid of nothing. As En Vogue would say, never gonna get it. Okay? You need to understand this point that I'm about to show you. Let me get rid of all of this right here. I'll take care of deleting the leftover files later. Wait a minute, that's coming up kind of slow, y'all. I might have to put y'all on pause while I get that, because I don't want to take up y'all time. You see how it works? The moment I said time and put y'all on pause, it popped right up. Okay, not this part. This is not the part we're interested in. Oh, see, now it wants to freeze again because it wants to make me go over 20 minutes. We ain't going over 20 minutes, y'all. Like I said, I just want to explain this so that you all understand what's going on. Come on, we talked about it earlier, y'all. Okay, not there. Come on. Come on, see how it's playing? Because it knows exactly where I want to go, and it's trying to stop me from getting there. I want to go to this section right here and look at it. So that's how it does me, y'all. Just so y'all know, ain't no coincidence. Senate report says that since March 9, 1933, they have been without a constitution. Look, without reference to normal constitutional process. They have been without the Constitution since March 9, 1933. Why? Because they've enacted 470 provisions of federal laws. These hundreds of laws delegated to the president. Ladies and gentlemen, what you don't understand when you read the words of the Senate in that report, you'll see it said that the president also enacted laws. The president doesn't have the authority to enact laws, but these 470 provisions of federal law gave him the authority. This act of March 9, 1933 gave him the authority. They delegated their authority to the president to enact laws, the executive branch, but you can't go into court saying those exact words. You have to use Congress's words to prove this. That's why we did those videos. This is how you ask your federal question. Did Congress have the authority to delegate its authority to the president? And did they have the authority to declare a national emergency that lasted more than 70 years? No, they didn't. The Constitution didn't give them that authority. That they have the authority to declare a banking holiday, suspending any and all access to lawful money. These are the questions that you all should be asking. You should be challenging this act as unconstitutional based on Congress's own intent. Remember, the Supreme Court has said Congress gets to regulate money. Fine, you get to regulate it, but you don't get to destroy it. You don't get to reinvent it. Remember, legal tender is not money. But the Supreme Court says they can regulate it. They can coin it. But remember, the Constitution said what it was supposed to be coined in. I get what those of you who are saying that it should be gold and silver. Your only problem is the Supreme Court has said they get to do this, they get to do that. That's what the Coinage Act was about. That's what the Legal Tender Act was about. They were taking away, they were preparing for everything they're doing now. If only you guys could understand, they created a separate system known as an economy. There was no economy before that. The stock market, remember the stock market was a bunch of junk. Nobody invested in no stock market. When the stock market crashed, it had nothing to do with the rest of you. You weren't invested in no stock market. Your grandmother wasn't invested in the stock market. Your grandfather wasn't invested in the stock market. Nobody was invested in the stock market. But what did they do? They created what's called securities, insurance. That's all securities are, is insurance. It's all insurance. The whole system is insurance, people. All you got to do is do your research and you'll find this out. When they created that market, that's when they created this new thing called the matrix or economy. It's all a farce. It's not real. It's all make-believe. And you guys, once you understand that there is no debt, you can start challenging these idiots. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you not longer than 20 minutes. So that's the end of that. Have a good day.